Hey folks, welcome back to another HP Gaming GameLINK video. Now today we're going to be exploring the museum, looking through the tombs, trying to discover the clues in search of the all-important Elder Sign. Hey folks, it's me again, it's Matt here, and I'm here with another video for our HP Gaming GameLINK YouTube channel. Just another reminder, we are in stage 4 lockdown. There's a lot of noise and other bits and pieces happening and going on here, online learning as well, which is keeping us busy. At the same time, we are trying to make sure we bring you a ton of content. So we're going to be unboxing for you Fantasy Flight's Elder Sign. This is a game for 1 to 8 players, can take anywhere between 1 to 2 hours to play, and it explores the Mixotonic Museum and all sorts of Cthulhu mythos and ancient ones and all sorts of other manner of evils. And it's really hard, especially because it's a dice roller, and we all know how I go with the dice rolling games. But look, you didn't come here to see me. Let's get to the table and I'll show you what's in the box. Okay, so here we go. Here is the box. As you can see, that's still in shrink. This is the revised edition, so I'm not sure whether this is the second or third printing of this one. It's been around for a little while. What's great about this is that it is a smaller version of things like Arkham Horror or Eldritch Horror, but it still plays up to 8 players, which is absolutely awesome. Part of the Arkham Horror files there, Fantasy Flight logo. Suspense and supernatural investigation, and this guy is looking pretty nasty. But you can, got a couple of guys with guns there, so all good. Back of the box there, lots of different components, but we'll show you all of those when we get into it. So let's do exactly that. Now, as I mentioned before, there is a lot of noise in the background because, to be quite honest, the 2-year-old that we have in the house has been quite difficult of late. I don't know if it's a teething thing or whatever the case may be. First things first, all the plastic shrink goes on the floor. Look, we'll get through as best we can. Opening of the box here, most of the Fantasy Flight stuff is really packaged well. The box lid is quite tight on there, which is fine. And then we've got inside here a few other bits and pieces. Now, first and foremost, we've got here the Elder Sign Omens app, which you can get. It's a reduced experience of what's in this box here. And it's fine, it plays okay, but it doesn't include all the bells and whistles. Obviously, you can get all the bells and whistles, but that will cost you. Evil is on the move. It talks about all the different aspects of the game. At its core, the app is not bad. It is a reduced version of this. If I want to play Elder Sign, I'll play Elder Sign. But if I'm not at the house, I don't want to take this whole big box of stuff with me. Not really a big box. It's not that massive. Then I'll probably just take the app for a bit of a spin. It's okay. It's not the most amazing thing in the world. Once they've done a couple more updates, it'll be fantastic. Rules of play there. And now the book here is going to be quite involved. There are a lot of components, a lot of rules. The good thing is here, as with all the Fantasy Flight stuff, the quality of the production is going to be amazing. Or not going to be, it is amazing. So you can see all the bells and whistles here, different rules, clock phases, securing dice for future turns. Lots of rules to get through. Heavily detailed, as you'd expect from an Arkham game. But yeah, and then there's a bit of a quick reference guide there as well with all the bells and whistles on it too. So yeah, rulebook. Great high color art's fantastic. All right. So in here we've got some baggies, and the good thing is I think this baggie is obviously just holding on player boards, but if you wanted to, you could use that to house all the extra components and things as well, which is really cool. This is basically just a reference: receive first aid, search lost and found, buy a souvenir, double-sided, and that's I think one of the starting locations as you make your way into the museum. Then we've got tokens and more tokens, because it wouldn't be an Arkham game without a ton of chipboard to punch out. that seems to be known for it. I mean, if you're looking at some base games for the card game, base copies, I should say, of the core for the Arkham Horror card game, it's literally cards and punchboard, and that's it. And then, of course, the expansion packs are basically mostly cards for the rest of it, which is a lot of cards to get through and sort through. Okay, more shrink on the floor. Then we'll go through these from the top here. So you've got here your health tokens, your sanity markers as well. In addition, you've got the hands of the clock here. You can see here you've got your Doom trackers as well, which will obviously come into play, and different monster add-ons as well. Footprint clues as well there. Your investigator tokens, because there's lots of different investigators to choose from. And more sanity markers here as well. And then these are different challenges that you can place on the different cards. And of course, the all-important proof of purchase there as well. Now, the chipboard for this is same high quality we're used to expecting. Chipboard is this great high quality that we've come to expect. It's not as dense as some of the other games, but it's still quite thick and quite durable, which I really like. Now, the tokens here for the overlays on the cards. They give you certain rewards for the ancient ones and things that attack you. And on the back, they've got different high priest things there, tell you what your rewards are as well. On the other chipboard set, we have got the all-important Doom clock. Every time the clock strikes midnight, bad stuff happens. Where are we? Midnight there. So every time it gets to midnight, there is something quite nasty that happens on the board. Sometimes you'll have a quiet night, pandemic style, but that's very, very rare. And when that does happen, enjoy it while you can. I'm going to punch out that clock there. It's quite big, quite durable, which is designed to. And I think it's a great omen, or centerpiece, I should say, for the table, because it's a constant reminder of what's actually taking place in the game and that you are indeed on the clock. And there's an elder sign on the back. The artwork's amazing. What's really cool about this is it's locked in and bolted, but behind it is this green, scaly, horrible, foreboding symbol, which I love. And then you've got the all-important elder signs. This is what you're trying to collect. You've got to collect enough of these to beat back the dark. And if you don't, well, then you fail and you'll suffer a miserable, miserable death along with the rest of humanity as well. So we need to collect these again. Good high-quality chipboard, and the artwork obviously is quite nice. Collect enough of those and you will win the game, which is awesome. All right, in here we've got, what else we got in the box? Let's get that out of the way. These are little cards that you collect. These are action cards, player aids, player cards. So these ones will be things like Anna Cuslow. So this is like character bits and pieces that you can collect. And on the back, they've just got a investigator card there. I'm not playing Marvel Champions. I won't talk about heroes and things. We're talking about investigators. Whiskey, yum. Let's all get some of that. Discard this card instead of losing one sanity. Shotgun, yep, that sounds good too. Food. So these are all resources and things you can do. Heal to fully restore any investigator's stamina. Binding monsters. The red sign of Shuddelmel, which is a spell deck, I think, for the wizard. There's a wizard or a magician investigator. And this is obviously all different cards for different aspects. Book of Dizam will give you the extra red die, which will help you complete your tasks. Alien statues. And then you've got here, so these are different decks on the back. I should have specified that. So the first one was Investigator Cards. And then you've got here weapons. There's spells there as well. And then you've got more weapons item cards. And then on these ones, we have time cards. So these are the deck of cards I think you go through when you pull from when there's bad stuff that happens. No immediate effect today. The next time the clock strikes midnight, though, two monsters come out. So that's quite foreboding. And there's all sorts of other bad things in there, which I won't go through because I don't want to spoil them for you. Now, we've got here room cards. So these are different cards that you'll use to deal out throughout the course of the game. And these make up the board. So there's a slew of these that appear. There's some flavor text here. And then these rows of icons you've got to complete in order to achieve the objective, which is to get a couple of clue tokens here. So if you roll on the die a scroll, then you can mark off that list. if you roll 9 investigation icons, you can collect the rewards. But if you fail on your turn, then bad stuff happens. In this case, you lose a clue. You lose a clue and you lose a sanity token as well. Terrible discovery. So you can see you actually have to sacrifice some bits and pieces to complete these ones here. The monsters can appear on cards too, which will make the cards more difficult. Ancient relics, blood on the floor, and they've got different, obviously, depending on where you're at in the game. There's lots of goodies here as well. The artwork on the cards is quite nice too. Keys to the Beyond. Something has broken free. Now that is never a good sign. The reward on this card though is that obviously you get monsters. There's lore, magic cards, spells they relate to the decks, remains of the High Priest, missing records, hidden passage. If you solve the hidden passage, you'll get 2 Elder Signs. You become that which you fear most. No thanks. That guy's in trouble. All right, and we've got another deck of these to go through as well. Now these ones I think will have the high-end ones that are really quite tough to beat. So if I look at these here, we saw 1s and 2s. Now these ones obviously get into the other things. You've got Riley, so you can actually travel interdimensionally. Not that we'd really want to. A Plateau of Leng, City of the Great Race, the Abyss, another dimension, the Dreamlands. So they couldn't come up with a name, they just went into the other dimensions. And then you've got the villain cards. So this is Azathoth, and he has you need 14 Elder Signs to beat him. And on the back they've got the villain cards there. The artwork's great. Hasta, who needs 13. King in Yellow, you're not supposed to speak his name. Cthulhu, Ithaqua, Shub-Niggurath. Now that's something you just don't ever want to face. Swirling mass of tentacles and flesh. Yig, Yoshogoth. These are your investigator cards. Amanda Sharp, Ashan Pete. Now some of these will appear in the card game and obviously in Arkham Horror as well. I think in Eldritch Horror too. Monterey Jack, the archaeologist. He's like an Indiana Jones style dude, which is cool. And then you've also got the representation of their sanity and their strength or stamina. Jenny Barnes, who features quite a bit in Arkham Horror lore. Sister Mary, Joe Diamond, Kate Winthrop, Dexter Drake. Magical gifts. This guy means business. Now this is Daryl Simmons, who's the photographer, Michael McGlenn, and then Harvey Walters, who's also features in Mansions of Madness as well, and other aspects of Arkham lore. So the investigator cards look like that on the back. And then you've got here the villain cards, which we looked at already. And then these are the dimensional location cards. And they're the normal location cards as well. The artwork's just amazing. And they're big, decent tarot-sized cards as well. They're not definitely not small, not by any measure. And then, of course, the dice. And the dice here, there's, I think, eight custom dies altogether and a little token for the clock as well, which is stock standard in most of the Fantasy Flight stuff you've got here. So, on your turn, you'll roll the 6 green die here, and unless you have an ability, you won't be able to roll the yellow or the red, but they will give you extra powers and benefits, and you may acquire those for one-shot uses throughout the game. But when you roll dice, you'll roll them and you'll compare the results. See, I've got 2 skulls here I might use to pull off a line or complete a line. This one here I need, so for this top card, I'm just looking at it here, I need 3 investigations and 1 skull. So I could take 2 investigations, 1 skull. If I didn't complete the row, like I haven't here, because I need to complete at least 1 row, I will move 1 die aside and then get a re-roll. But I'm only rolling with the 5 die. So in this case, what have I got? I've got 3 and a skull. So I could mark that row as complete, leave that on the card, and then try to roll with the remaining dice 2 sets of 3 investigations. So if I look at this here, I've completed there. There's my 2, 3. Now I've got 2 die to roll. Another 3 for investigation. I've rolled a 1 and a scroll. I need to roll another 3, and I've rolled tentacles. I haven't completed that one. I've failed. So my penalty is that I take a sanity or a stamina wound as well. So as simple as that. It looks like it's simple, but obviously the more you have to roll, the less you're rolling with to complete your tasks. And that's pretty much all that's in the box. So let's come back up and we'll have a look at some final thoughts. So there you have it, folks. Not a lot in the box, but at the same time, there's plenty. There's enough in the box to allow for 8 players to have what is a rollicking good time. I can honestly say I will be no good at this game because it is a dice roller. As you just saw, I failed on what was a relatively easy room search task and would have lost or taken a wound as a result, but that's okay. Look, I'm still looking forward to playing it. I'm a big fan of the Arkham mythos, and I think that's going to be something fantastic to get into. If you have any questions or comments, pop them down there below. Otherwise, thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. We really appreciate your support. If you want to get on board, you can jump online, www.patreon.com/hpgamingau, or just look at the address that I've just put up on the screen. Or you can hit us up at orders@hpgaming.com.au, or visit the website to get your copy of Elder Sign at www.hpgaming.com.au. We will be back with more fun and adventures in the coming days, so please keep checking back. Make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date with everything we post and whenever we post something new. And by all means, if you have any suggestions on things you'd like to see us play, by all means pop them in the comments below, or hit us up. And we look forward to seeing you back at the table very, very soon. Bye for now.